A high school homecoming after-party. A bonfire. Teenagers celebrating. And then, gunshots. When police finally tracked down the 17-year-old accused of firing multiple rounds into the crowd, his only concern wasn't the law, the victims, or his future. It was this: "Yo, am I going to get posted on Facebook?" It was a Friday night that was supposed to be pure fun. The Forest High School homecoming dance led to a large bonfire after-party. Details are still emerging, but initial reports confirm a physical confrontation escalated rapidly. One victim recounted the sheer terror to deputies, being chased, the shooter firing the weapon, and literally feeling the bullets whizzing past his head. This wasn't a warning shot. This was an attempt to kill, narrowly missing a young life. In the past, this might have been a cold case. But in the age of social media, everyone is recording. Deputies quickly found a critical piece of evidence: a short video of the suspect, Zachary Serek, holding a firearm, with multiple shots clearly audible in the background. If you were a parent whose child was at this bonfire, what is the first question you would demand the police answer? Let us know in the comments. The Marion County Sheriff's Office knew they had to move fast. They took a still frame from the video and shared it publicly, asking for help. The breakthrough came 5 days later when the Ocala Police Department connected the dots. They already knew this young man. Further investigation revealed Zachary Serek wasn't just a troubled teen. He was already known to law enforcement. Crucially, records showed he had a prior felony adjudication, which made his possession of the gun itself a serious crime. The charges would later include possession of a firearm by a felon. At that young age, Serek's reaction to the public post was predictable. He deactivated his social media accounts and discussed plans to flee to Daytona. His immediate instinct was not remorse, but evasion. But one person decided that enough was enough: Zachary's mother. Facing the grim reality of her son's actions and potential flight, she made the agonizing decision to turn him in. She drove him directly to the sheriff's office. This act of accountability is a central theme of this case. We now have the body camera footage of the arrest. Notice his lack of fear and his misplaced priority. Insert the full body cam segment from the original transcript here, with minimal voiceover to allow the scene to play out. Serek is officially charged with a devastating list of felonies, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a firearm by a felon, and use of a firearm during the commission of a felony. To help us understand the severity of these charges and the broader implications, we welcome back Professor Joe Pardo, a former prosecutor. Expand the discussion on the mother's decision. Why is this critical for the juvenile justice system? The importance of the mother's action is paramount. It sends a message that actions have consequences, a lesson crucial for a young person facing impulsivity and a lack of foresight. Serek later admitted to detectives he was armed and threatened to shoot, but insisted he wasn't the one who fired the rounds. The police aren't buying it. Expand on the legal standard. Does admitting to brandishing the weapon count as a felony? How does the video evidence undermine his denial? Expand on the societal impact. What about the trauma to the other teens? This wasn't the crime of the century, but for the hundreds of kids at that bonfire, this is a life-altering event. They went to a party and left a potential crime scene. The emotional toll is immense. Professor Pardo mentioned that carrying the gun set up the potential for violence. Do you believe the core problem is the availability of the firearm, or the underlying impulse control issues of the 17-year-old? Given the severity of the charges, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, the prosecution has strong grounds to seek to waive jurisdiction and try Sarek as an adult. Discuss the criteria for waiver in Florida: age, seriousness of the offense, prior history. This shifts the entire trajectory of his life. If convicted as an adult in Florida, the use of a firearm during the commission of a felony activates the 10-20 life statute. Explain the law and how it drastically increases potential sentencing for gun offenses. Even a plea deal will likely involve a significant period of incarceration, his apparent impulsivity, taking the gun, firing it, fleeing to Daytona, and his complete lack of concern shown on the body cam point to a need for serious psychological assessment. Discuss how defense attorneys use this to argue for mitigation, seeking rehabilitation rather than pure punishment. The mother's initial act of turning him in may actually be a mitigating factor used by the defense. It suggests family recognition of the problem and cooperation with authorities. Contrast this with the father's role. The script only mentions the mother and stepfather, leaving an area for speculation on the family structure. How is a 17-year-old already a convicted felon and out on probation violation? Analyze the failures. Was supervision insufficient? Were intervention programs unavailable? This case exposes weaknesses in the system designed to rehabilitate, not just punish, minors. The fundamental question remains: where did the gun come from? Is there a second set of charges looming for the adult who owned or allowed access to that weapon? Discuss Florida's laws on safe storage and parental liability in cases of juvenile gun crime. Regardless of the sentence, Sarek now faces an uphill battle for his entire adult life. He will carry a felony record, severely limiting job opportunities, education, and social standing. Analyze the long-term impact, linking back to Professor Joe's earlier comments. If you were the judge, considering his age, 17, and his prior record, felon, what balance of punishment and rehabilitation would you aim for in this sentencing? The story of Zachary Sarek is a tragic microcosm of broader issues: youth violence, easy access to firearms, and a criminal justice system struggling to hold minors accountable before they commit irreversible acts. We return to the moment that defined the entire case. Rewatch the body cam footage one final time. Insert the core moments of the body cam footage again, focusing only on the Facebook question and the pat-down. You've spent an hour with us, dedicating your time to understanding the full scope of this critical issue: the trauma to the victims, the breakdown of the family, and the flaws in the system. You watched this entire case because you believe that transparency, accountability, and the truth about crime in our communities matter. But if you're not subscribed, then we can't continue this vital work. We rely on your support to fund the deep dives, the expert analysis, and the lengthy production needed to bring these challenging stories to light. If you believe that the consequences of juvenile violence need to be exposed and discussed, you must hit that subscribe button right now. Don't let this be just another story you watch and forget. Join the community that demands accountability. Hit subscribe to ensure we can keep the focus on real justice, not just Facebook fame. Do it now.